I hate my daughter because she looks exactly like my mom who slept with my husband. Part 2. If you're just joining, part 1 has been posted before this one. So go watch it, come back here to give your opinion. After my young handsome boyfriend told me to break up with my sugar daddy, of course I did. I was ecstatic. I officially ended things with this man, and since my boyfriend and I had been together for a few months, I decided it was time for me to introduce him to my mom, the only person that I had in the whole world. My mom was so happy. It was exactly the kind of reaction I was expecting from her because I've always wanted to make her happy, and this news was making her really happy. In a few months, I got pregnant and I told my boyfriend. He was so happy. He was filled with joy. He went crazy. I decided to tell my mom about it, and in her words, she said, "I just want you to be happy." So yes, I saw that as a go ahead. Within 2 months, we concluded the marriage rites and I was officially a married woman, married to the love of my life. My husband suggested that my mom moved into our house to help me. I was a young girl who was pregnant and still in school, and this sounded really good to me. I had no choice. I wanted my mom around, of course. Put to bed, I had my daughter, and my mom did not mention leaving. She didn't leave, and my husband didn't talk about it. He didn't have a problem with it. So this got me really happy because I was having my mom around more. Life felt so good to me. I had my mom, I had my husband, I had my daughter, and my mom was actually taking most care of my daughter whenever I went to school. She really made things easy for me. Everything went sour in my final year. I noticed the weird closeness between my mom and my husband, but I just chose to ignore because which mother would do that to her daughter? My husband only eats the food prepared by my mom. He buys her clothes. At some point, I noticed that he even got her underwears. Which son-in-law buys his mother-in-law underwears? I decided to confide in one of my friends, and she confirmed my fears. So I told myself I was going to find out if something was really going on or if I was being paranoid. On my mom's 47th birthday, my husband decided to throw my mom a birthday party, something he had never done for me. Night on my mother's birthday, I walked in on my husband feeding my mother, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was so scared. Tell me why you guys are even doing this to the point where you're not even caring about your daughter's presence. Like, your daughter, you're just doing whatever it is you wanted to do. Sleeping with mother and daughter, and you are so nonchalant about it. Another day, I found used condoms in my mom's room, and this even got me more scared. Thank God they are using protection, because how would you imagine you having another child from your mother and your husband? That's gonna be your sister and your child's sister. Ew. I lied to my mom and husband that I had a wedding to attend and I was going to be gone for a week. I could sense the excitement even though they pretended to be okay with it. I took the spare key to the entire house and I left for my friend's house. I left with my daughter, of course. That night, I went back to the house. I snuck in actually, but they were both not at home. Then I reassured myself that I was wrong, like I probably thought wrong. The next night, I tried to go again, and this time around, I went earlier than the time I went the previous day. I tiptoed to my mom's room. I heard loud moans and I started fidgeting. I opened the door to the room and I saw a sight that I would never forget. My mom sat on my husband, riding him like a slut. My nervous system failed me. I couldn't move. I was just still. My mom froze when she saw me. She started begging and crying. Of course, she came off the dick. My husband came down and he said the cliche words, "It is not what you think." It is exactly what she saw. My mom and my husband had been having sex all along. Finally struggled to leave the apartment and my friend came to pick me. Later on, my mom left the city because I never hesitated to tell anyone who wanted to hear about what she did. I told every nook and cranny about the atrocities she committed with my husband. As for my husband, after several pleas from him, he finally signed the divorce paper because I was done with his ass. The problem is that I need help so much. Even though I left the city after school, I hate my daughter. I can't help it. I resent her so much. She looks exactly like my mom, and every time I see my daughter, I remember the dreadful sight that I saw of my mom, sister, and my husband. I've gotten therapy, but nothing worked. I really want to love my daughter, and I want to be a better mother, but I can't help it. I don't know what to do. Number one, you have to forgive yourself because you did not make that happen. You didn't put them in that situation. Number two, your mom is a different person. Your daughter is a different person. Your daughter came out of you. Number three, your daughter looks like your mom because you are your mother's daughter. So as long as you still love yourself for being your mother's daughter, there's nothing you can do about your daughter. You have to find a way to love her as well. All therapy is needed, and please advise her in the comments.